Hey everyone, part 2 of the minifigure review series will include the Antagonists. So in this video, that means I will be reviewing the minifigures of all Sons of Garmadon members. So without further ado, let's get started. So this one is Chopper Maroon or Skip Vicious or Nails, one of the two. I don't remember specifically. I believe it might have been Nails, but I'm not entirely positive. So let's just call him Chopper Maroon for now. This minifigure is definitely the better out of the two normal Sons of Garmadon Scout minifigures, I guess you could say. I like his face printing. This guy screams street thug, whereas the other guy screams biker, but he just looks better. I like it's a simple minifigure, but it's not bad. The hairpiece is really nice too. The face printing also. The bandana is interesting too, though. I mean, Ninjago has a lovely habit of sticking masks on people even though they don't wear it, and this is no exception. But it doesn't look that bad here. And then also, yeah, the skull on his shirt with the spray paint, that also looks really good. This guy screams street thug and I like it. Now on the other hand, this guy, Luke Cunningham, screams more biker. The helmet definitely portrays that, whereas the spray paint and bandana gave off more of a street thug feel. As do the pauldrons and the gloves on his hand too. All of that good stuff. This minifigure is okay, mainly because it does share the same torso with Snake Jaguar, so it's not as impressive when we put it on its own. Also, the face isn't exactly the best for Luke Cunningham either. Does it really look like Luke Cunningham? Not really. Luke Cunningham's face looked more like tight and put together, like closer together, the parts on his face. This one, not so much. Nevertheless, they do get the beard part. Killo's minifigure is a big fig, and Ninjago has only done that twice now. The first and previous time was with Dogshank. This one is with Killo. The major difference was that Dogshank also had a big figure head, whereas Killo doesn't. He just has a tiny normal head, which looks a bit weird. Looks like a reverse version of Dora the Explorer, if you get what I mean. But anyways, this big figure does look pretty impressive. The nice big jacket and, of course, his Killo tattoos, they all look very nice. The Mask of Deception also enhances this minifigure too. They did get some stuff when we look at the bottom of the minifigure wrong a little bit. I believe he does have a orange belt around him, or the legs might be a different color. I know for a fact that they got something wrong with the legs. But anyway, yeah, he's a good minifigure. My only problem, and they did this with Dogshank too, was that when they have big figures, they show them off in the TV show for their strength. Dogshank, I mean, there was this one episode where the only thing she did pretty much was jump from an anchor in order to break the wall, and that was in the Lighthouse Siege episode. Killo, on the other hand, was pretty much referred to as the big man, which, yeah, he was referred to as the big man until he was introduced. Well then, actually, once he was introduced, it was a little different. He wasn't just showed off for his strength, but yeah, the fact that they called him the big man is something, I guess. Ninjago should really just stop doing big figures for some time, but for the actual design, it looks awesome. This is the normal Ultraviolent minifigure. There are two different variants of Ultraviolent, and I'll be reviewing both variants, but let's just take a look at the normal variant. So first off, they stick that purple mask on her, which she does wear sometimes, but not for the majority of the time. And then also she does have a little hair tie thing. I'm assuming that black piece does serve as like a hair tie kind of. And then she also carries her typical size. So anyway, this minifigure looks lovely. The contrast of purple and black, it's ultraviolet. That's her. However, some of the designs used in this minifigure are not at all unique. For instance, let's start with the hair. This hair was used on Nauticon, and now it's being reused again. Her eyebrows also kind of remind me of Nauticon's eyebrows. Like, very thin, a little weird. But, yeah, the hair itself, it's a good hairstyle, actually. It's just not a completely unique idea. This version of Ultraviolent, unfortunately, is not as good as the other one. To start, the leg print is exactly the same, which is not good at all. When somebody puts on the Mask of Hatred, their entire body turns to stone, not just the top portion. The rest of the body? Well, let's take a look at it. Let's move up to the main torso part. It's okay, I guess. It's not amazing, but it does look like her normal torso, except stonified, I guess. Could stand to be a little more vibrant. And then the rock thing on the shoulder, that looks awesome, to be honest. I love that, the inclusion of that. It looks really nice, actually. I don't like that they're always showing this variant of Ultraviolet off with the mask lifted up above her, but that's not really concerned with design, so I shouldn't really be talking about this. But like when somebody puts on the mask of any mask, Oni mask, they don't just lift it up like that to expose their real face, so it looks kind of weird. Mr. E also had a very cool minifigure. His does look like his main torso reminds me a lot of Ultraviolet's minifigure, except with an E and kind of red. I think they could have been a little more creative with that, but the rest of it looks awesome. His leg prints also do resemble Ultraviolet somewhat, I guess. Yeah, they could have taken a little more originality with his torso prints, rather than just kind of using Ultraviolets. But anyway, I like this minifigure. The shoulder pads that they utilize, it's really nice. And the red cover also, of course, that does look pretty cool. Although in the show, his eyes are kind of glowing, so they're pure white. But that's something I can't really say because there's no real way to do that. And his red hands also look really nice. Now let's move on to his Forearm Variant. Now, during its run, Ninjago has had countless four-armed minifigures. Started out with Samukai, then moved on to Garmadon. Then we saw some more with stone warriors like Kozu and, Nadakon. And this is the newest one, pretty much, Mr. E. So I really love this minifigure, actually. To me, it's one of the better four-armed variants. For one, you can see the power of the Oni mask coursing through his upper torso part. You can see those red lines. And it's an extension of his original torso. Like, you can see that E icon again, and you can see everything that was there. I love this because it extends the original torso, but it also captures the power of that Oni mask while retaining the same colors and themes. So, I mean, I really like this forearm minifigure. It captures a lot. Next, we have the Rumi minifigure in her princess form. I like this minifigure, but I would have preferred it if they included her in her civilian form. Her civilian form just honestly looked a little better. I mean, this form looks good, but there's not much going on to it. Yeah, I would have preferred if they included her in her civilian form, but that's really besides the point right now. So let me explain what her minifigure is like. To start, I love the little cape element. It looks really nice, and we've never seen that kind of double cape on a Ninjago minifigure before. I also like her hairstyle. It's new unless you count Lady Iron Dragon. Honestly, this is just a better version of Lady Iron Dragon from the movie. Now, as for her torso itself, it's very plain. There's not really much going on to it. Like, it's just green, and there's some green robes and stuff. I think the main highlight here would be her hair, which looks absolutely phenomenal. And then her face also with the typical princess paint, and her cape with the, flowerish designs. But this minifigure is good, and I know why. It's really easy to understand why they didn't include her Quiet One variant. I mean, obviously this season was built up where the main antagonist wasn't introduced immediately. This is unlike other seasons. In every other season, pretty much, the main antagonist has been introduced from the get-go. But this season was very different, so I do understand why they didn't include her Quiet One variant. However, this isn't to say that they couldn't have included her civilian form. So, last but not least is Garmadon. This is the first four-armed Garmadon since Season 2, since the Overlord Garmadon. And I gotta say, this minifigure is really nice. To start, the second torso looks amazing. In the past, we've only seen him with the armor on his second set of arms, but this one, it takes it above and beyond. I love the little purple ooze dripping out from his ribcage. And even more, that exposed piece of ribcage, which accurately represents the show wonderfully. And I also like that the throwback, his original torso print is underneath. They kept that. It looks a little different with the belt being blue instead of purple, but the main ribcage design has stayed. His face looks okay, I guess. I'm not a huge fan of that face. I preferred his old face. It looked a little more serious. This one just looks like he's insane, like really crazy. His helmet, his new helmet, that is, I've never been a huge fan of, but I like the little designs at the front. I feel like it's a little too loose in the back. Like if you take the minifigure and look at it, there's a lot of empty space. And even now, visibly, you could see how far the sides of his helmet are from his face. But I do like the design of the helmet. I just don't like how loose it is. That's going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, share with anyone and everyone you know. We do have some changes to the channel coming up soon, including a new logo, new intro, new outro, and some other scheduling changes. So stay tuned. I'll be making a video on that next. And yeah, I think we're pretty much done with our Season 8 coverage. That we've covered the episodes and the sets and now the minifigures. So I guess we're just going to be doing videos like best villains, best intros. There's so many of those to do. And also stuff like Season 9 videos. Season 9 theories. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.